we'll let you share that way.
Oh, geez.
Great. I see some folks signing in with the sign-in sheet. So great job finding your way that way. For those who are on the Miro board but maybe haven't found the warm-up activity yet, I'll give you a couple of ways to navigate. One way is at the top of your screen, you should see some circles with people's icons. And if you click on my picture there, you'll be able to follow me, and I'm at the sign-in sheet now, so it'll bring you there. Another way to do it is there's a toolbar down at the bottom. If you see that, great. If you don't see that, there's a couple of arrows. So if you click those, a toolbar should appear. And one of the icons, if you hover over it, should be the first one. It should read frames, and you can click on that, and it gives you a list of all of the slides or frames, and you can click on the warm-up activity there.
Mine now says, how sticky is sticky?
Yeah, I was there too.
Yeah, Tom got that message as well. Again, I think it's an internet issue there.
Well, now mine is all these things are just guest editor, guest creator, guest writer, test, Mike Erdman's name. They're all just like a ping pong, a pinball game. Ken, I see Ken Beerley there.
Yes, so if you, another way to clear that up, the cursor, so again, at the top of the toolbar, there's a little cursor, and if you click that, it should hide everyone's cursor. Great, yeah, I see lots of arrows flying around too. So if you click that cursor, you can hide those.
Calm.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Leslie has a comment.
What you've done.
Leslie says, I have none of what you have described. Leslie Johnson.
I just have the regular Zoom screen. I'm not in the right place, am I? I didn't sign in. Do I need to go to a place to sign in?
Great. So, yeah, I'm going to put in the chat again the link to the Miro board. And if you click that, see if that brings you to where we need to be.
I bet it will.
Right.
Now you said you were putting it in the chat again. It wasn't in my chat. Maybe I came in too late and it didn't include previous chats.
Okay, let me post that again. Let's see. Here we go.
I'm seeing the things that you described. No, it did come in. I was just saying it wasn't there before I came in. Okay.
Okay, great.
So now what did you want us to do? Could you repeat those instructions?
Throw up our hands in frustration. That's what we want to do.
Guest editing, no? I mean, where do I sign in? Let's see. Play around with it.
Yeah.
And how come every time I sign into Miro, all your lovely faces just disappear? And I can't do both, even though I'm trying to go to different, opens. I don't know what you call them, the thing where you can look at your toolbar and have 6 different things you can open to. It never works.
If you minimize Zoom, then go to something different, then the minimized window should stay on top of the Miro desktop.
Oh, I'm sure.
But then you also can't see people, so.
Yeah.
I'm going to Erdman's office.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Yeah.
Counselor Anderson, swing on by the chamber. We got you covered on this.
Yeah.
Set you up with a 6-foot separate, we'll keep you all socially distanced. Get you good to go.
Yeah.
Perfect, because I can't get on either, Tom. I have a weird screen out here.
Jane, I got a spot for you too. We're going to get this whole office going.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, if I'm understanding, Belina, what'll happen is if we're on the screen that has everybody's faces on it, at some point, you're going to do some sort of screen share, and then we can actually work on Miro.
Well, when we do the screen share, you won't be able to work directly on the board. It will just be a kind of visual training for right now.
Well, I guess that's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Just barely.
Yeah, and we'll see how it goes
Okay.
today. We might be open to some adaptations with different tools, but
And I just want to say, I know this can be a little overwhelming when you first get in. We do have a little agenda that we're going to walk you through today. And also, it's fine that it's a little confusing right now. That's exactly why we scheduled this separate meeting, so that we weren't doing this during our workshop. So if you're feeling stressed, just try to take a deep breath. Be patient. We'll walk you through this. There's no big, no big importance on this today. It's just a practice session, but I'm going to turn it over to Belina, and she's going to walk us through some practice things so you can get more comfortable with it.
yes. All right. So thanks for being here, everybody. And thanks for those who've been working through those frustrations, either successfully or not successfully in terms of the Miro board. We'll get there. So the first thing that I think we'll have everybody do, if you can see the Miro board, great. At the top, there should be circles. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start sharing my screen for those of you who cannot see the Miro board. And if you're just going to participate today on Zoom, let's do that. So just loading the share screen. For those of you who can see Miro board, at the top, there should be circles with pictures. If you click on my picture, that is an easy way to follow along. So it should bring you to where I am. I see some people joining. We've got about 12 folks, 13 folks. Excellent. Great. Okay, keep climbing. Good job, everybody. All right, so keep clicking on that picture if you can. Awesome. So I'll show you what this looks like for those of you who are clicked on. If you click on my picture, heads up that as soon as you click off into the Miro board, the follow along feature kind of goes away. So one thing that you can do right now is click on my picture, take your hands off, and I'll navigate you through. So you can see that it looks like following along should see this welcome slide. So you can see the agenda today was that warm-up activity. We saw a few folks able to enter some names and participate there. So huge thumbs up to those of you who were able to do that. The next thing we're going to go through today is the important Miro tool. So how to navigate this board, how to use the board, and then we'll do some practice. And just like Kim said, it's okay if you're feeling frustrated. We'll share this link again if you want to go back in and practice. We have a practice area set up for you. So for everyone following along with me, great. We're going to scroll down this way. Let me get rid of this. So this was the warm-up activity. Going down to the important Miro tools. Okay, so good stuff here. One thing that I'll show you first is down in the bottom right-hand corner, there's this map. And if you click on the map, there's a horizontal arrow between two vertical lines. And if I click that, for those of you following along and you can see on the screen share, it zooms you way, way out. So you can see all of these little frames. So zooming in.
Belina, I'm actually on the Miro practice board, and I'm where you ask us to be, and I'm under important Miro tools, and I don't see anything on the bottom right-hand corner, except telling me I can zoom in and out with my mouse.
Okay, then that is the way to do it. So for those
Wait a minute, that's the way to do it, but that's not what we were looking for.
Yes, so if it tells you can zoom in and out with your mouse, Tom, you can go ahead and do that. For those who can see the map, you can zoom in and out that way. So that's one way to follow along. The other way is down in the bottom left-hand corner or somewhere on the bottom of the Miro board screen, you can see this toolbar. And if you click the first icon, it is the frames tool, and it pulls up all of the different slides.
You just went out. I just lost your sound. Oh dear.
I don't even see the icons on the bottom. There's no toolbar on the bottom.
Oh, you froze.
Okay, and if you cannot see the bottom toolbar, there's a couple of arrows. If you click on those arrows, the toolbar with all of the icons will come out. So
I
again,
see arrows all over this place. What are the couple that you want me to do? On the left-hand side, there's a toolbar with 2 arrows. Up on the right, there's 2 arrows as well.
So the
And-
arrows that we're talking about are these little gray arrows. They're a little bit hard to see, but if you click on those down on the bottom somewhere, so not up at the top.
Okay, well, I don't see anything on the bottom.
Tom, I think what would be helpful is if you just watch Belina's screen right now. So instead of trying to look on the Miro board, just look on Zoom. Belina has shared her screen and she's walking everyone through it. So
Okay,
just watch what she's doing.
perfect,
that'll-
thank you.
Great. All right, so again, that frames tool down on the bottom, clicking that pulls up kind of like a table of contents for this Miro board. And that's an easy way to find a frame. So instead of trying to navigate throughout the whole board, you can just click on one of those frames and it will take you right there. And then we're gonna move up. So this top part, I just wanted to highlight, if you come across an icon that says long press to unlock, just a heads up that we would ask you to not do the long press and unlock. The way that Miro works is we can put some materials on the board and we lock those so things don't go flying around, just to prevent any movement there. And then in terms of how to actually engage with, we'll mostly be using what are called the sticky notes here. What we'll be doing is on the left-hand side, you should see a toolbar. And the first icon there is this cursor. And when the cursor is kind of blue, if you click on that, that allows you to go into sticky notes and add text that way. And if you click that same icon again, it should show you a hand, and that's how you can move throughout the board as I'm doing right now. So for those of you who are able to access the Miro board right now, go ahead and practice clicking that arrow so that you can see how it changes, and then practice clicking it again so you can see the hand tool and move around just a little bit. So I'll give you a little bit of time to try clicking those. Great, I see people moving around. Good. Okay. All right, so we're gonna dive into some practice. And what we'll do now is if you either want to practice using that frames tool, go ahead and go to the Miro practice. See some folks were already drawing or moving around there. Another way, if you want to click on my picture again, will bring you to the Miro practice board. So let's see, we've got some folks coming over here. Great. Okay, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to just remove these test bits for now. Okay. Great. All right, so the first thing that we're going to have you practice, since for the workshops, we were planning to use these sticky notes up at the top. So one thing we're going to have you do is practice copying and pasting. So the way that you do that is if you click on that, you can either right click and you hit duplicate. It will give you another sticky note and you drag it over here. Again, making sure that the cursor is clicked and not the hand tool. Great, I see some folks doing that. The other way is you can use your keyboard. So if you're on a Mac, that's Command C and Command P. And then if you're on a PC, that's Control C and Control P to copy and paste. So I see a lot of copying and pasting. Good job. Let's see, another way that you can grab a sticky note is that left-hand toolbar. If you click one of the icons, hover over it, it looks like a sticky note. You can click that and you can paste it in by clicking the board. Great. Yeah, I see some people doing that. All right, lots of sticky notes popping up. Great job. Okay, so let's practice typing in the sticky note. I see some people do it. Yeah, you did it. Yeah, you can make the sizes bigger. So practice typing. Let's type the month that you were born in on your sticky note. So find your sticky note. Again, select that cursor tool and you can type right in there. All right, I see somebody. Good. December, May, a couple Mays, September. Great job. So again, I'll duplicate some more sticky notes up at the top if anybody needs to borrow some sticky notes there.
Alina, do you have to click on the text button to type, or it's not letting me just type when I start typing? What do you have to?
Yeah. Okay, great question, Dylan. First question is do you have your the arrow, the cursor icon, and you should be able to just double click into a sticky and then start typing.
It was the double click. I was only single clicking. Thanks.
There you go. Okay, yes. So my mistake there. I should have told you all. Double click into that sticky note. Great. All right. So maybe for some folks who have some of the larger sticky notes, let's practice reducing the size there. So if you click your sticky note, 4 dots around the corner should appear, and you can use the arrow to resize those. And I see some people already getting some good practice with changing the colors. So the way that you change the color, you should just be able to single click and a toolbar should pop up, and you can click the circle that has a color in there. You can change the color. If clicking in isn't working for some reason, you can right click and then a list of options should come up. And if you click edit, you should get that toolbar and change the color that way. Great job. So maybe let's pause for a minute. Any questions that anybody has right now? For those of you who are able to use the Miro board, any questions on changing the shape or the color? Great.
I have a question, Belina.
Yes.
So I feel like I don't have some of the toolbars that you're referring to. So is there a way to add the toolbars?
Yes. So great question, Patricia. One thing I'll say is that occasionally with internet connectivity, sometimes the toolbars will go away and then they should come back. But on the left-hand side, there should be just a toolbar. You don't have to do anything. It should just appear. For the bottom toolbar, if you are not seeing a bottom toolbar, there should be 2 very light gray arrows, kind of like the greater than sign. If you click those, the bottom toolbar should appear.
Okay.
So, Belina, I still have all of the ping pong names floating around, and I don't know how to turn that off.
Yes, great question again, Robert. Up at the top, for everybody, if you're seeing lots of cursors moving around, what you can do is click the icon that looks like a cursor, and there's a couple of lines next to it. If you click that, it should hide everyone's cursor. And then if you ever wanted to see everyone's cursor again, you just click it again and everyone should pop up again.
Thanks, very helpful and nicely relieving.
Yes, it feels good to see all those cursors go away sometimes. All right. So for folks who are in the Miro board, if you want to scroll over here, we've got some emojis. So I know that we've got some frustrations, maybe some excitement, but if you want to right click and hit duplicate some of those emojis and paste them under this sailboat, go ahead and do that. Show us how you're feeling.
So I seem to have lost my screen. I was in it and I went out of it and now I can't find it. Is it in the Zoom meeting or is it?
Yes. So in the chat, there should be a link to the Miro board, and you can click that, and that should bring you back.
Well, I don't think I closed it. I just think I lost it.
Okay.
And then I was finding that I was able to delete other people's sticky notes. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. You definitely can. I would advise against doing that, though. Want to leave people's creations. And that's where that locking comes into play.
And Julie, you should be able to see the Miro board through your web browser, if that's one of the windows you have open.
Maybe that's the problem. And is there a particular web browser I should be using or not using?
I don't think so. Belina, do you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure that it matters. We can do some investigating to see what browsers might work best. I personally use Chrome because we do a lot of Google management at Veritas Group, and Chrome seems to work pretty well.
I seem to have totally lost The chat box. I'm feeling sort of stupid.
No, sorry, Julie.
Oh, I found it again. I found chat box, so
Great.
Awesome.
relieved.
So just to let you guys know, when we do our workshop next week and the other workshops, we're not going to ask you to do anything too complicated with Miro. In fact, those of you who are on the board, I think, have pretty much mastered it. We're mostly going to be asking you to write on sticky notes at certain times, like to write down your ideas, and then at other times to like drag a sticky note onto a board like this. There's a lot more that you can do with Miro, but we're just going to try to keep it really simple for you. So I guess the goal of today is if you can successfully write something on a sticky note and maybe move that sticky note. That's all we're hoping you'll learn how to do.
Yeah. And for those of you who are able to do that, we might lean on you to be kind of scribes for your groups as we break into small groups in future workshops.
So speaking of Scribes, since I am not successful getting on, I don't know if I will get on out here. Could I text my input to somebody and have somebody put it on the sticky notes during the workshop?
Yeah, and one way we can make that even simpler is we'll do Zoom breakout rooms for small groups. So you'll be able to speak with your small group and someone could type that way. So we can remove another device barrier for you there.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah. Great. All right. So we're seeing, I see one celebration face, a star face. I see some woozy faces and some green, maybe nauseous faces. So one thing that I'll share with everybody, for those following along, I'll zoom out and then see some people were able to do some scribing of their own right here. But here's a extra practice. So you'll get a link later today and you'll be able to practice on this board. I see someone was able to move the board, so I'm going to move it back. Okay. All right. Maybe as people are still following along, but any other questions that people have?
Is there a way to identify any sticky or notes or graphics that you've placed on yourself?
Yeah, that's a great question. There is not a way to immediately identify something that you've added compared with everyone else's. And so that's where when we're in small groups, everyone will kind of have their dedicated space to be in. And if we have one person kind of managing Miro for your group, they'll be able to keep an eye on your group's sticky notes that way. Great question.
Thank you.
I noticed that if I just copied the link and put it into Google Chrome, it worked a whole lot better than pulling it up under another.
Oh, interesting. Okay, great tip.
Share that with the group. Maybe everybody else was using Chrome, maybe not. But for me, it's 10 times better putting it in the Chrome other than just trying to launch it out of the Zoom.
Great. So just making sure I heard what you said, Lauren, that was if you copy the link and paste it in, that works better than just clicking on the link. Is that correct?
For me, I mean, mine doesn't open in Chrome. I tried to open it in Chrome. I mean, an internet connection, and it didn't work. Too slow. It was just blocked. As soon as I went to my Chrome link, plugged it in there, I'm able to do all the stuff everybody else was doing.
Great. Okay. Well, that's a great breakthrough. We'll keep that in mind and include that in future instructions, just in case that's helpful for other folks too. All right. Other questions, other barriers you're seeing or curiosity points that you have?
Linda, can you lock some of these boards so that way they can't be moved around, especially ones that aren't supposed to be moved?
Yes, definitely. We'll go back in and we'll clean up this board after today. I didn't realize that the extra practice board was movable. So kudos to someone for figuring out how to do that, whether that was accidentally or not. But yes, great question. We'll lock these down.
It was an
Elena,
accident.
could you, it just seems a little bit tricky if people can accidentally delete other sticky notes. Is there a way to only be able to edit your own?
Yes, great question, Patricia. No, there is not. So again, that's where in the small groups, everyone will have their dedicated area. So if you stay within your area, and we'll make sure to advise everyone to not click on other people's sticky notes. So kind of stay within your designated spot. If you notice that you have accidentally deleted something that wasn't yours, you can go ahead and do a quick Command Z, and that will be an undo. That should put back whatever you deleted there.
Can you tell us where those emojis were again?
Yes. So if you click on the frames board, it is the Miro practice board, or if you follow along, if you click on my picture, I'm hovering over the Miro practice board, so you should be able to see it that way. And then the emojis are over to the right of the practice board. And I see somebody might have figured out how to add a new emoji. I see some Santas popping up. So if you figured that out, taking it to the next level, that left-hand toolbar, you click on the 3 dots. You should be able to see an emojis section there. If you click on that, all of the emojis will pop up. Someone was able to add a giant clown, so that's working. All right.
And again, during the workshops, our goal is to, like Belina said, to lock down almost everything and then just give you guys a very small space where we're asking you to just write some text on some sticky notes. So it won't look this messy when we're doing a workshop. This is just a messy practice session for everyone to mess around with for the first time. But we'll try to keep it really nice and limited for you so it's not too confusing.
I have the same question that Vicky just posted. Is it beneficial at all to create an account, or can we just use this as a guest like we're doing now?
Yeah, great question from you both. If you create a guest account, you'll have all the access that you need for the workshops, and that should suffice. Great. And again, we'll send out that link so you can come back and practice. And if you have questions along the way, you can follow up via email, but I'll turn it over to Kim for some next steps here.
Okay, thanks, Belina. And I need to zoom in here too. So our next steps, as you know, our workshop is next Wednesday, the 18th, and someone's asking about the homework. I've had a couple questions about the homework. Thank you for being so anxious to get your homework. We needed to wait to finish analyzing the results of the community survey that we had open the last 2 weeks. And we've been working on that this week, and Patricia and Rob are just doing a final look at that before we send that to you. Part of your homework is going to be to look at the survey report. And then we're going to be asking you to look at 3 climate action plans from 3 other cities, just to take a quick look at them. You don't have to read them in their entirety by any means, but just to kind of scan through them and answer some questions. Anyway, I have an email all teed up, ready to go to you that will probably get to you later today. So keep your eyes open for that. And then as Belina said, we'd like you to come back to this Miro board if you have time, just to get a little more practice with it. Our goal is that when we're doing the workshop, we can all focus on the actual ideas, not the technology. So if you have time to practice a little bit more, we'll also email you a couple of how-to videos that describe how to use Miro if you want a little more refresher. And if you really need some more hand-holding, let us know. Belina or I can set up a one-on-one time with you to try to walk you through some more Miro training. So, does anyone have any questions?
Thank you so much for your time. I have to go, and see you next meeting.
Okay,
this is
thanks
Vicky.
so much.
See ya.
Thank you everyone for making time for this today, and we'll follow up with an email to you soon.
Okay, thanks so
all.
much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.